Well, hello everyone. We're going to be starting in a few minutes. We'll give it a couple of seconds here for people to log in, just to see that I'm on live. We may not have anybody live tonight, but that's okay. You got to start somewhere, right? It's supposed to be starting at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, Chicago. In a minute, I'm going to ask you to check your audio to make sure that you have sound so you can hear me clearly. So while we're waiting for people to get on, no problem. Let's go over to the Facebook page. Nobody yet. That's okay. Don't get depressed, Dominic. There's one person. Yay! So, whoever you are, if you would give me a thumbs up so I can see. I can't tell who you are. It doesn't show up for some reason. Maybe you have to type something in. I'm not quite sure. Unless you don't want me to know who you are, that's okay too. So I'm on the Facebook page. I can see that I'm live. I actually see myself. Huh. That's cool. So it's 7:28, 2 more minutes, and then I will just go ahead and go into it. Send me some thumbs up if you can hear me. If you can't, that's okay. No problem. I don't have anybody in the background today, or tonight rather, because everybody's gone. So if there's any technical difficulties, it is what it is. It's going to be okay though. I'm sure I've got a very, very strong internet connection here, and that's it. So we're going to rock and roll here. My normal partner, her name is Ann Barriola. She is my social media goddess. She does a fabulous job. She redesigned the website for the Institute for Self-Achievement. It looks so much more amazing than when I did it myself. So I appreciate that you're here, and in just about another minute or so, I'm going to go ahead and just know that it's important to me that you get value from this. Really important. And also that if you do get value, to comment and share it with your friends. I really appreciate that. It means a lot to me. I show 7:30 on the dot, so we're going to go ahead and go. The title of this little webinar, this live self-achievement webinar, is called 1 of 5 Secret Hacks to Get Promoted Fast. And my name is Dominic Serta, for those of you who don't know me. I'll tell you a little bit about me in just a minute. I want to make sure that you know how to connect with us online. We have the website is instituteforselfachievement.com, where you can get all kinds of free little cool tools and downloads to help you in work and in life. And also you can read the blog with lots of good information there. This particular piece of the puzzle of the self-achievement system is called Manager Hacker. This is a reversal of, instead of teaching managers how to manage people, this teaches the employees how to manage their manager. So anytime I invite you to invite your friends, please bring them along. This is a mastermind group where we are going to be talking over time about 4 different things, which is work. This is what this one is about, Manager Hacker. Moving your career forward, reaching your career goals, if you have a difficult manager, ideas and thoughts about getting around there, getting around the manager. There is another section called Mind Hacker, and that is about staying focused and sustaining your energy, keeping your brain active and going and on fire. And then there is Goal Hacker, which is about making plans and keeping your creative juices flowing, creating an amazing future. And then the last area is called Love Hacker, and that is all about developing extraordinary relationships, and not just about love, okay? It's about sharing the love, and because life is about relationships, and the more that you have a handle on your relationships, the better off you're going to be. So with that, I want to say happy first of the day, happy last day of January rather. It's been a wild ride so far here in the United States, and I am not going to talk about politics, or I'm not going to ask you any answer any questions about our president. So get over it. It's not going to happen. So this live self-achievement event will last probably somewhere between 30 and 45 minutes, depending on questions. And again, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Dominic Serta. I live in the best city in the world. Well, sort of in the city. I mean, sort of close to the city, but not in the city. I used to live in the city of Chicago, and hopefully you've been here before. If not, give me a buzz. You can always come and stay with me. I love having company here. I live about 30 miles south of downtown, and that brings me to what I call the Great Northwest, Northwest Indiana. And people say, "You're from Indiana?" Oh my gosh, you know, that's kind of a weird place. But actually, we're a little suburb of Chicago, so it's actually pretty cool. I live here with my wife, my co-author wife, I should say, my tennis partner wife, my bike riding partner wife, and an empty nest. All my children are grown up, and I've got 4 children, 2 boys, 2 girls, and 3 grandkids, 2 boys and a little girl, cute as ever. I've been in management for over 20 years, and I became a manager working with actually volunteering to start with a self-help organization similar to Tony Robbins. Not quite as big as Tony Robbins is now. Back then, Tony Robbins was basically a nobody, but I was became their international marketing manager and one of their junior facilitators. I have founded and managed 4 of my own small businesses, relatively small. Got to a point with one of them where we had 12 employees, 10 to 12 employees, and then one of them was an audiovisual sales, rental, and repair company. We had 5 employees at that. Then we had 2 women-only health clubs, and we had about 12 employees there. I started my own consulting practice about let's say 10 years ago, and have been traveling in different parts of the world doing training, teaching Harvard-level productivity and management skills. Companies I've worked with, Vodafone, Microsoft, General Motors in Egypt, and over here in the States, AT&T, BMW, and there's a slew of them. I don't want to get into it. So what this live self-achievement event is about, okay, it's one of 5, and I'm going to give you what the 5 are, but we're only going to have time to talk about one of them. It's from the manager perspective, and the first thing that you need to know, it's all here in the book. Okay, the first thing that you need to know is the 2 rules of Manager Hacker, and number 1 is you always hack yourself first. In terms of your productivity, you know, when you have your act together, nobody can fuck with you, right? They can't. You have to hack yourself first. The second rule is to hack your manager second, and to do it incognito. That's why I'm wearing this sleuth hat and this hot red shirt, because Manager Hacker is all about going undercover and doing things on the sly so that your manager has no idea what you're doing. Okay? So those are the 2 rules. So in the bigger picture, the truth is that you know what you need to do to improve. And we're going to talk about that in a few minutes. I'll provide you a link to a worksheet that will give you a little bit of guidance on how you can begin to look at and sort out some of the things that you need to work on. Many of you don't get the privilege of having a performance review, so this is a little tool that I will provide in a link that you can download or you can make your own, either way. So in the next few minutes, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to expose the 5 secrets, and these are the secrets that your manager doesn't know about. Usually, they don't know about. These are not taught in the schools. I'm going to talk about the potential pain that it causes when a manager avoids them. It's a big problem. Why they are important, and also what you can do if your manager isn't paying attention so you don't get screwed over in the end. Because what's most important is your career and the forward movement of your career. I know that's important to you. So if that sounds good, give me a couple of thumbs up. That's great. Here's my 60-second manager story. Okay, I've had many managers, some good, some bad, some ugly, and a few that were awesome. And I'm sure you've had the same. Not every one of them ever, not one of them ever told me these 5 secrets that I'm about to share with you. They were busy watching my performance, but they really weren't, and my technical ability, but they really weren't going to look at these. They weren't really looking at these secret hacks that I learned after I became a manager. I didn't really know these secrets to get promoted until I became a manager. I just said that. I used to think that being on time was all I needed. And I see that a lot. I hear it a lot. People are late, and they think that is the most important thing. It's not. It doesn't even come close. Later, I thought it was about being productive or meeting targets, making sales. Then I learned the true secrets that nobody was talking about. And it's not about reaching targets or making sales. It was about how I was doing it. It was the how I was going about reaching my targets. So, some people may call it attitude, but it's not really attitude, okay? It's a shit more than attitude. It's kind of like, Dave Grohl from Nirvana, former Nirvana, and the Foo Fighters. He says this. He says, if you see a band play, right, and they may have great form, they may have super talent, but if their stage show sucks, you're not really going to like them that much. So it's kind of like that with us, right? With the way that we go about doing it. If our stage show is awesome, we create a lot of fans that really want to watch us. Okay, that's the same thing in management. So have you ever heard of the band 21 Pilots? Same thing. Okay, they bring out this platform and they glide over the top of the people, and people go nuts. So they have a great stage show, and people are. They're the number one band on the planet right now. They're amazing. So it's all about the show, right? And you may want to be a rock star like me, but we're not. So here we are looking at what we can do to hack our manager in a way that they aren't normally watching for. Okay, so first of all, things that you have to know, real simple. There are 4 basic functions that a manager is responsible for. 4, real simple, basic. Not all managers, but overall. Number 1, planning, very important. Number 2, organization, or organizing those plans. Number 3, being a leader and developing you. And number 4, controlling all those other elements. The one that we're going to focus on today is about development. That's the key. Those are the 5. There's 5 keys about development that they have a difficult time with, more than anything else. So these 5 ways that managers are supposed to be developing you. They're supposed to be, but most of the time they don't. Okay, so there's a good reason for that. I'm going to tell you in just 1 minute. Number 1 is they're supposed to be energizing you. Okay, this means to keep you interested, keep you engaged, to keep you fired up to do your very, very best work. Okay, Number two is to empower you, to give you the tools that you need to do your job the right way. That's a difficult one right there because, sometimes you just don't get the tools you need. The empowering is about giving you the authority to make decisions, leveraging your effort to a common purpose, right? So that you're on board with the whole company mission, the freedom to use your creativity, things like that. That's empowerment. The third one, to support you, right? What does that mean? To coach you, to be a counselor, to be a co-worker, a one-on-one co-worker with different job titles, different roles, different responsibilities, but to be a co-worker. Been working a supportive, open, communicative environment where you guys everybody can work together and compromise, and of course, as long as it is in the company's best interest, or in your manager's, some cases your manager's best interest, they will compromise. Number four is communication. We all know that communication is the lifeblood of the whole thing, and when the communication goes down, everything goes down. And if a manager is not communicating to you, it's a big problem because you just can't do your job. The fifth one is to change you. And what I mean by change you is to mold you, into the type of employee that can do the job that you were hired to do in ways that your manager wants you to do them, or the company wants you to do them, so that they can maximize their productivity, they can maximize their profits, they can maximize customer support, the whole bit, whatever it may be. The pain, the struggle, if they don't do these five things, it's really pretty simple, and I'm sure you already know. It's like, first of all, you might think, oh, hell, I have a handle on all those. But in most cases, if your manager isn't doing it, what happens is things tend to slip over time. That's just what goes on. That's normal. It's not bad, it's not good, it's just the way things are. And I know that if you were here, you're here because you probably aren't getting what you need from your managers in ways that are really supportive to you. Many people are left on their own with no guidance from a manager to get to advance in the organizations, to get a raise, or to get promoted, and that's a big problem. So if you're here, I feel your pain. And you can increase your chances by taking control of these five areas because you have a shit ton of control. You have a lot more control than you think that you do. So the first thing is about your energy. The first of the five is to energize you. First of all, who can actually energize you? Who has the control? Who has the power? You do, of your energy, right? You have the control. Who has the control to empower you, to put into, what am I trying to say? To put into effect the empowerment that you've been given. You do. It's all about your willingness to control how supportable you are. Some people, there's a lot of resistance, especially if there's a difficult manager in there. Lots of resistance going on, so they don't want to be supported. It's all about how you communicate. Your body is your most powerful tool. Can you remember words, tonality, and body language? That's a tool. That is the most powerful tool for you to use in every aspect of your job and every aspect of your life, as a matter of fact. And the last one is how willing, right, you are, and how much control you have to change yourself. And you know that you have the full power, full control. Oh, I know some of you think, oh, I don't have the control. I have a friend, okay? About a month and a half ago, I was with him, and he smoked cigarettes. And I said, dude, you have the power. You just don't know that you have the power. Oh, no, I've tried so many times. I can't do it. His mindset is that he just can't do it. So, of course, he doesn't have the control. But really, he does. He just doesn't want to look at it. He just avoids it. And that's what most people do. So besides the technical part of your job, your manager is really never going to talk about these areas. He may or she may observe, okay? But often it goes unnoticed. They'll only observe you if they're aware enough to remember right? And they're watching on the side, they're watching on the sly. And the thing is if you don't take control of these areas, when it comes to your performance review, you're going to get killed, even if you even have a performance review, okay? So, all right, so as promised, here is why it's so difficult for managers, and here's why you need to know these 5 hacks, okay? First of all, you can go to LinkedIn, you can go to Forbes, you can go to Inc.com, and you will find all the proof that you need that I'm going to talk about right now, okay? So here's the perfect example. Recently, about a week ago, I saw an article on Forbes that said 98% of managers that they interviewed and asked these questions, they said, now this is managers at all levels, they said that they wish they had more training, okay? Now we're not talking about the managers yet that have had management training or went to management school, okay? Simply, managers at all levels don't know what the they're doing. They don't. You think that they do, you wish that they do, you hope that they do. They don't. I'm telling you, I've been doing this for a long time. I taught the skills, and people look at me like, what? I'm supposed to do what? They don't know. These are even level 2, level 3 managers, right? So they don't get it. Technically, though, it's a different story. Most of those managers, they came up through the ranks. Okay? Technically, they have all the skills. But what skill are they missing? Right? People skills. That's it. That's the secret. That's the root cause of the problem, are the people skills. And, they may go and read a book. They may get sent to training. But most of the time, very little happens. And you've seen it. I've seen it. Not too much happens. So, right? Give me a thumbs up. You've seen it happen? Exactly. So, and some managers, they don't want you to get promoted because, you're going to get ahead of them. So they're not going to pay attention. They won't give you great performance reviews, or they'll leave things out, right, to make you think that you need to continue struggling. So the bottom line of that is, why should you have to be the one to deal with their lack of training, right? It doesn't make any sense. That's why hacking your manager is so important. So, it's like, to know the secrets, okay, beyond your job description, right? For what a great manager looks for in you is really important. By paying attention to these hacks, all right, what you have to do is you have to think about them, write them down, take charge of them, because if you have a shitty manager, okay, with no people skills, you're going to be waiting in line for a long time for a pay raise or a promotion. People that go to these high-end management schools, you name it, from Harvard all the way down to, online, okay? Some of them are really good, some of them are not so good. What do they teach these people? All the technical stuff, okay? All the generational differences with boomers and Gen Xers and Gen Yers, and how to deal with them, and all of the the performance management and how to record and all this other stuff. But they don't teach them the people skills. Where do they have to get their people skills? On the job, right? Doing it. So when they get out there, they're just like the other managers. They don't have the people skills. They're learning them real time, okay? It's very difficult. So here's what you need to do. You have to energize yourself. You have to take charge of that. You have to empower yourself. You have to be willing to be 100% supportable, stop resisting, learn to communicate in an assertive way. I'm not saying that you don't already. I'm just saying, when you learn to communicate in an assertive way, things begin to change, because the people that you are communicating with get it, that you're not a victim anymore, okay? We can talk about that for a long time. Here's the thing, okay? So you need to get urgent, because a great manager is going to expect you to come to work energized. A good manager, they're going to hope that you come to work. A shitty manager, they're not even going to care. They're not going to give it the time of day. So if you want to get ahead faster and have more fun doing it, your manager needs to see you doing things different, and they need to hear you doing things different. The tone of your voice, right? If they don't see these things, nothing's going to happen. That's the key to you getting your promotion or your raise faster. And you have to get, it has to be consistent. And it can't be one day you just walk in and all of a sudden you have lots of energy, because they're going to think you're on drugs, right? That's not the way that it works. So that's why you have to go and stay undercover. Keep it on the down low, right? But be consistent. And you know, in my time, I rarely promoted people who were like Jekyll and Hyde, you know, on and off, hot and cold, because I never knew what to expect. And sometimes I did promote them and I regretted it because it was a mistake. They went back and forth, and then I was the one that had to deal with the fallout. It's not a good idea, okay? So all you need to do is to create a habit, to remember to stay energized. It's like a routine. So for example, when you get to work, you get out of your car or get off your bicycle or whatever you do, you get off the train, as soon as you walk through that door, that's your trigger point. Boom. It's like take your deep breath, put your smile on, and walk in and be energized. Tony Robbins, everybody's heard of Tony Robbins. He always talks about that, being in state, shifting your body language so that you get into the state that you want to be in, right? Anybody can slump their shoulders over and be like, oh, this is going to be a real terrible day. Or you can, right, straighten your back up and go in and be energized, right? It's all about control. Yeah, set an alarm on your phone for 5 minutes before you walk into the office. Or better yet, here's 2 things that you can do, right, that will help you with your energy. 2 things. Number 1, change something about yourself. Like, take it on board. Challenge yourself to do something, to change something that you've been talking to yourself about for a long time that you need to change. And then start doing it, and you'll see. Now, you may not be inspired in the beginning. That doesn't matter. The point is to start or stop that thing that you know that you need to, and slowly you will start to get energized. It's like a natural thing. You've done it before. That's one way, okay? Give yourself that opportunity. The other one, when you wake up in the morning and you have an alarm set, leap out of bed, right? As soon as the alarm goes off, forget the snooze alarm. Leap out of bed like you have, like this is the last day on earth. You're gonna go, wow, right out of bed. You're like, what? Are you kidding me? Leap out of bed? I'd rather, you know, I'd rather stay in bed and hit the snooze alarm. No. You leap out of bed. That's just an idea, okay? I'm not telling you that you have to do it. It's just an idea. I did it for years. It works. So, the big question is, right? It's not about how, right? There's probably a million different things that you can change. The big question is when. When are you going to do it? So what I tell people all the time is go stand in front of the mirror and look at yourself, look into your eyes and say, okay, Dean, Gail, when are you going to change? I see you both on there. You know, when? Dominic, when are you going to make the change? That's always the big question. So you write it down in your calendar. You prepare yourself. Give yourself a week, whatever it might be. Some people have difficulty with exercise, or maybe it's, I don't know, smoking. I gave that up a long time ago. Bad eating habits, your organizational skills. Take something on board, challenge yourself, and begin to do it. Set an alarm, leap out of bed. Don't hit the snooze alarm. That's the energy. The question is, right, change, who's in charge of you? Who's in charge of you? Change is not easy, but the payoff is beyond words. People who say that they're in charge, I've asked people this all the time. I even ask myself this question. Who's in charge of you? Are you in charge of yourself? And people always say, yes, I'm in charge. Now listen to this. People who say that they're in charge are those people who actually make the hard changes. They keep their word. So it's difficult. But that's the key to being energized. Okay? So, here's a question. Since you are in fact in charge of how you want to feel, would you rather feel energized when you wake up in the morning or tired? Which one? Energized. I know. It's simple. Everybody does. Every human on the planet wants to feel energized. When you leave for work, when you're in the car, do you want to feel good or do you want to feel great? You want to feel great. Everybody wants to feel great. If you could take good over great, you would take great. Do you want to feel great or do you want to feel fantastic? Fantastic. Which one do you choose? What are you willing to do to feel fantastic? Or are you just going to go through life at sort of a medium pace? It's up to you. Gusto. That's my New Year's resolution. Gusto. Here it is right here. So, would you rather feel fantastic or full of gusto? That's it, right? Happy, smiling human being. So it's your choice. You just have to remember to do it. That's it. So that's why I set reminders all the time. People, right? Here's my note. Be an inspiration, not an ass. It's easy to be an ass. Anybody can. Look at what's going on Facebook right now. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So it's your choice. You just have to remember. So set a alarm, right, to go off in the morning or right before you go to work. And be happy and be energized. People are going to begin to notice, but don't go crazy, right? So anyway, here's a question for you. Why do people all of a sudden get fired up when they leave work versus when they get there? What the is up with that? Everybody loves leaving work, but nobody wants to get there. Here are some other things that you can do so that your manager can see and hear you, okay? First of all, don't make a big deal out of what you're doing. Don't brag, okay? That's a little side note. Do more than expected. Look for things that need to be done around the office. They don't pay me enough to do that. Time out. This is about hacking your manager, hacking your way to get a promotion, right? So you look for things to do, even if it's not your responsibility, and you do them. Now, I'm not saying that you're not. If you're doing them, continue to do that because it's important, right? Help your colleagues. Don't wait for them to ask you. Go up to them. Be proactive. Be assertive. Hey, is there something I can help you with today? I know you look really busy. I've got a few minutes. Is there something I can do to help you? If there's a problem, make it your mission to be the first one to find the solution, and do that a lot because that's going to get noticed, right? You're the first person. Here's another one. Dress for the job that you want. Now, that's not always easy because you might have a casual atmosphere, and if you walk in with a suit and tie on, you might look a little bit weird. They might put you on YouTube or something. But here's another one that you can do all the time is ask intelligent questions. Intelligent. And ask them in a way that doesn't make the other person look like an idiot. Okay? I've seen and heard people doing that, and they have this frustration in their voice, and they say it with such sarcasm. It's like, don't do that. It just doesn't make sense. Even if you hate your boss, even if you hate your coworkers, don't do it. Because the point of this whole thing is to get the promotion, to get the hell out of there, right? So ask intelligent questions. It's all about perception. Perception is everything, right? They're always watching you. If there's politics or gossip in the office, don't. Screw it. Don't do it. Don't get involved. Don't engage. You'll get labeled if you haven't already, right? So it's crazy. Just remember, people are watching you all the time. Another thing that you can do is greet people. So when somebody walks into your space, actually get up out of the chair and walk up to them and say, "Hey, how you doing?" Give them a big smile, give them a handshake, whatever, But make sure you acknowledge people because that's it's body language, right? Shows everything. So even if people aren't watching, it's really good to do that because how do you feel when people greet you in a really excited, fun, way? It's important. So don't just look excited, sound excited, right? Even when you're on the phone, I have people tell me, "Dominic, I can't do this. I work remotely." Well, do you ever talk to people on the phone? Do you ever use a text message and not put an emoji on the end of it that's got some emotion to it, right? That's the secret. People will begin to notice. Now, right, who would you promote? If you had two people that had the same technical skills, this person over here, kind of average, not excitable kind of person, or this person over here that is, excited, they greet people, they, offer help, you're going to promote the one that's, that's excited. So anyway, be yourself, okay? Don't try to pretend to be somebody that you're not. Be appropriate. Don't do weird things. If you were doing weird things, doesn't make you bad, but again, it's perception. Be weird with your friends. If it's okay in the office to do weird things and to say weird things and play practical jokes, that's the culture, okay, that's fine. But for those of you who don't have that environment, it's not really good. Here's another big one, right? Don't ever ask for a promotion. You're like, what? Are you crazy? I deserve my promotion. I deserve it, right? No. When you get to your performance review or ask for a meeting, you say, what I need to know are, what are the qualifiers for me to get a promotion? What do I need to do? That's an intelligent question. You don't put your manager, your boss under pressure. You just ask them a simple, straightforward question. If they don't know, you keep pressuring them, or you give them some ideas so that you can measure your own performance. It's really important. Some of these big corporations, they have some of these systems in place, but some of the smaller ones, they don't have any of that. And what happens over time is that people get frustrated and they get pissed off and their performance lags and they get stuck, and then, next thing you know, they quit, go find another job. But what they're really doing is they're taking their crappy skills to the new job, right? So this is why it's so important to elevate your skill level so that you can take brand new skills and new ideas to your new job. So remember, who would you promote? All right? Okay, questions. I'm looking at the screen. You can type questions in if you want. If you don't have any questions, I'll continue on. Any comments? Nothing? Rock and roll. Here we go. So, if I do miss a question, you can always either, after we hang up, you can inbox me, message me on this group, and it'll come to me directly, and I will answer your question. You have my word. Okay. So, actually, that's the end. That's the end of the whole thing. And the next session is going to be 1 week from today at 7:30, and I'm going to be talking about empowerment and how you can use it to get your promotion faster. The next most important secret hack. I will post this worksheet for you, a link so you can download it. It's nice and pretty. You don't have to create it yourself. And all it says is, to feel productive at work, I must, right? So you may feel productive, but there's maybe things that you need to change. So what you do is you make a list of things that you know you need to start doing, or your boss has told you that you need to start doing, and then you make a list of things that you know that you need to stop doing, or that your boss has told you to stop doing, and then you prioritize them. Okay? Put them into your calendar and begin to do them. Things that your boss, your manager, will notice. Okay? Rock and roll. Real simple. Nothing real complicated. That's what this is all about. Thank you all for being here. I really appreciate it. I hope that it was valuable to you. I know it sounds a little basic, but the point is, it's a great reminder. I'm here to help you as much as I possibly can. If you did get value out of this, please take a moment to make a little post in the comments below and share it with your friends. So, thank you. See you guys next Tuesday, 7:30 if you're here, and have a great week. Talk to you later.